Peace, 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 Chief. Grace and peace to you too, Chief. You know what I'm talking about? This is movie Innerstandings. I'm Achi, you know what I'm talking about, and peace and McQueer. Um, and today we are talking about Free Guy, right? Came with this one up on a whim, but I thought this movie was interesting, just on the basis of it alone. You know what I'm talking about? Because it to me dealt with more so intellectual property and stealing of one's intellectual property. Also, the evolution of intellectual property in a sense. So, peace. My name is Precious. You know what I'm talking about? Priest and Manai, you know what I'm talking about? So, with this place, it's called Free City, you can pretty much do everything you want. Pretty much the game. I mean the game, or the open world. Um, since this is based off of a game, you got to have a little bit game lingo. So it's an open world type game, right? What that means is that there's no boundaries. It's open world for you to roam and things like that, and go to more than one place and things like that. So it's like an open world. And not only that, is pretty much sort of based off of GTA, Grand Theft Auto, right? Um, this ain't no Brooks Brothers. Got no Brooks Brothers. You tell me this ain't no Brooks Brothers. Yo, swear. But no, no. I buy off the rack. Brooks Brothers. Who wears Brooks Brothers? You know what I'm saying? um, if I'm going to wear a suit, like Zach, it's gonna be flashy, but just but yeah. So it's based off Grand Theft Auto, and if you remember anything about Grand Theft Auto, it was a game, that was basically a criminal type, steal your car, run from the law, and do missions game, right? Oh, you wear Bruce Brothers? I need to get like you. You know what I'm talking about? I thought you was too cool for Bruce Brothers. You know what I'm talking about? you know, I thought you was too cool for Bruce Brothers. I thought you was gonna wear something, I don't know. Shoot, upscale. There's a word. I thought you was gonna wear something like upscale, like real upscale. Can't tell you what, but yeah. So if you ever know those top games, because they used to have a wave of controversy when they first came out. Because it was cussing them, it was a lot of killing, and you killing police and whatnot. You have the same thing in Free City, right? And you have the main character, who is an NPC. For those that don't know what NPC is, it's non-playable character. you know. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, you got him in mothballs. Okay, you got him in the back, got him up in the attic somewhere. Got you. So Guy is an NPC. Like I said, it's a non-playable character. It's a character you can't play, but it's in the game. Usually they give you quests and things like that. Like doing the game thing. But yeah, give you quests and things like that. And they're just there. They're just scenery. They're just there. They're just scenery, in the game. With their own code and basic functions, equals no soul controller. Exactly, Chief. No soul controller. You know. So that's what Guy is, and you can already see that, he knows that, the difference between him and the sunglass people, as he first calls them. And the sunglass people are basically the player, or you could even say, if you want to go back to Tron, the user or the player, the user, whatever. You know what I'm talking about? But that's who they are. And you know, guy, he gets up, does his daily routine, getting a coffee, going to work, hanging out with his friend buddy who also works in the bank that he works at, but he's a security guard. They always in a bank that gets robbed in, and they just go routine. You like, up on the floor, what I'm talking about. But a guy has this urge to, find his dream girl. You know what I'm talking about. He wants to find this woman. And so and, and I guess that's the Adam S part of Guy. More importantly, he's called Guy. You just say man, bam, But that's what he's waiting on. He's looking for this woman, or waiting on this dream girl to come around. And here comes this girl, Molotov cocktail. Well, Molotov girl, not Molotov cocktail, but Molotov girl, who's a player, aka Millie. But she's a player, and she's so as she's walking on the street, what I'm talking about, she can recite, the NPC's lines because they see them often, and it's repetitive, what I'm talking about. So, it's just a normal Free City day where the NPCs just do what they do, but then she runs against Guy, and then he is in, trance mode, when a girl goes by, she's cute, and then you hear the music playing. So he hears the same music, which is Mariah Carey, Sweet Fantasy, I'm talking about. And instead of saying, his typical line, don't have a good day, have a great day, he says, I love that song, and she just says, oh, that's different, not knowing that he's changing because he saw her, So you see him basically follows her. He's like, man, I gotta go follow her. It's like that's the eve of the game. I gotta go follow her. And Buddy's like, what are you doing? Don't do it. Say it. But he goes anyway, and then he reaches basically the train tracks, which he instantly gets killed, by the train. But like that train track pretty much represents like the end of, or the boundary between, the NPC realm and the player realm, in a sense, or you could say Eden in a way. But because beyond that is what the multiplayer lounge, where players talk and gather around in their own place. It's like a chat room, like now, everybody's multiplayers, you got, and everybody got a handle, you got M&I, you got Achi Zach, in the multiplayer lounge on YouTube, just to have you understand that, what I'm talking about. But all of a sudden you see Guy wants to change or whatever, what I'm talking about. And then because he wants a cappuccino, the coffee, the barista at the counter don't know what to fix. And then, you got the cop saying, somebody about to get shot. He's upsetting the balance of everything, what I'm talking about. And because of that, he has said, just messing with you, I'll take this coffee, what I'm talking about. But he goes to work. Everyone is subject to the programming, despite imagining they do have free will. Yeah, they do, Chief. They do. And to me, that's the realization that Guy comes through. You know what I'm saying? He, at first he is a subject to his own programming, but through his desire, I would say, to meet the woman of his dreams, in a sense, he finds free will out of that, in the sense, what I'm talking about. And when trying to exercise a choice that that Tate Kennedy was at the back of his head, like, do we have a problem? you know, yeah. Um, he begins to go off script, thus creating a new frequency. Exactly, Emma Precious, and this film was updated. Rene Descartes, yeah, Descartes conundrum. Um, so he goes through the same team at the bank, but this time it's different because he ends up killing a player and taking their glasses. You know what I'm saying? And then he puts on the glasses, and all of a sudden things change for him. He's able to swipe money. Like I say, it's like GTA. He's able to, he took a beating from the player, and it's actually, the player looks like a guy, but it's actually a little girl with her little sister by the screen. And the little sister's like, wait, bad little girl, like cuss, like waste that. It's, but he swipes, takes the money, and then all of a sudden, he's able to swipe, health, what I'm saying? Then he's able to get the shoes or the gym shoes. Oh, I said gym shoes. Running shoes, track shoes, whatever, but the shoes, the limited edition shoes that he's always wanted, but he never had the money for, right? Question, what's the difference between computer programming and biological laws of the brain? The difference between computer programming and biological laws of the brain. Well, I would say computer programming is inputting into the system, whereas with the biological laws of the brain is the brain is always, I would say, in a sense, creating and learning. Whereas with programming, it's it's somebody doing it. Somebody's imparting intelligence. Whereas with the brain, you learn as you go. You learn through observation and experience and things like that. No one's practically, in a sense, inputting things for you to learn, where you just, having an error, or things like that, error message. Okay, Zach says, well, it won't be natural and fluid, like when a baby reached for the tit of a mother, as programming would be in a bottle. Yeah. I would say that, Achi Zach. I'm precious. They're bothering with zeros and ones. There's a huge difference between programming and the mind. A character, T, who was programmed, was learning and expanding. Aren't the brain's biological laws imparted by intelligent design? Yeah, I would say biological laws are imparted by intelligent design, or transcendent design, which is beyond human understanding. Whereas intelligent is probably what's still known. What the brain probably has is it's still unknown. Because you can only use what 10-15% of it. You really ain't really tapped into the whole 100% of the brain, or even the left or the right part. It's still, there's still an unknown factor in the sense, sort of. And you're right, Buddy was clearly Man's best friend. I didn't want to say it, but that was the only character that was getting on my nerve. But I knew what it was there for. You know. What else? Let's see. Emma Precious says the brain is programming if this do this, do that. No thought, more automatic. Unfortunately, but the mind allows for natural and organic decision making. I say that may be no difference. The free site programmers were beyond the telling of the characters in the game. Characters couldn't see them, but reflect their likeness. Okay. Got you, Chief. Got you. And man, it's like, oh wow, like go ahead, but like, now I want to get into learning about. Interesting, interesting concept. Let me think on it. So you have that, but then as he, then he gets into it with the moderators, of Free City, or of the game, who are like the police. And he fights out with them and uses different buffs in the shoes and things like that. But the moderators, at least one named Keys, he sees Guy as an anomaly, because it's weird. He doesn't have, they think he's a player, but he looks like an NPC. They think he's just a player doing a cheat code, which does happen. If you ever play, open world games, or MMO RPGs, there are people that literally cheat, and spam and things like that. It does happen. But Brother Zach said, I would go back to the lecture when Chief said the brain doesn't know what's real from what's fake. So can you tell it what's it seeing, as opposed to who naturally knows? Be as natural as you. Even natural can be with your spiritual self. So then can a genuine mind come forth from non-biological material like icy chips and transistors? Can a divine mind arise from a mundane biological arrangement? It's sort of like only time would tell, but then again, yeah, it's possible, something you're gonna have to see, but I mean, it's possible, I guess, but can a divine mind arise from a mundane biological arrangement? Yeah, it's possible, but then can it arise through the divine input, or just the natural Hmm. Mm. Hmm. No, we can you can try to imitate, but never duplicate. Never. No, okay. So yeah. Um. But after that, we see that Keys is actually a game developer. Who created a game with Millie, aka Molotov Girl, and that game was bought, I but it was put on the shelf, and basically, according to Millie, it was like stolen. It was stolen, which, like I said, it was an IP, that intellectual property that oh, we'll pay you for it, but then the actual code that you put into that game was put into, like she said, a first person shooter, FPS. You know what I'm saying? I'm going for no for 500. Hey, go for 500. I ain't got to pay you something. Go right ahead. A divine mind. Ooh, Sister Kashia say, my mind from what is a biological ring, but something genuine cannot sprout from what is not. True. You have to think that an IP in a transistor is of a natural material in a sense. It's like steel. You know, um, it's not what natural matter, and I guess you could say. So then you are saying sentience in AI is an impossibility. That remains to be seen. You know. But sentience in AI, because this is what the movie is about. AI, an AI character becoming sentient in a sense, but it's not real. You know, but while Millie is trying to get the proof of Antoine, which is the owner of the company Tsunami, not TSU, and not that tsunami, but Tsunami, um Guy follows her or the bishop, and she ends up, going through a portal, which is based off of another game called Portal. I never played it, but I saw it years ago. She goes in and goes into her own little lair with got guns and cars and stuff, and she basically teaches Guy about the game, but like, you're just level 1, you need to get up, get up levels, what I'm talking about. And he's like, how do I do that? Do missions, do this, help people out. He said, well, I'm not going to steal and do this. I'm going to be a hero, He want to be like Superman, But as he plays the game, he literally becomes a hero. And because he's doing good things and whatnot, uh, people in the real world is taking notice and trying to find out who, quote unquote, blue shirt guy is. You know what I'm saying? Because he's doing all these good things and stuff. No divine mind can give rise or life to biological, but not the reverse. Like in Bereshit, we learned that the Elohim gave animation to all the life we perceive on this planet. Oh, you are right. You are right. Look at you. Look, come on in. It is okay. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead. I ain't worried about it. It's possible. It's just we'll never have that IT factor, that it factor. Lil Rel did provide an also explanation of being in the moment and establish Zen instead of doubt. Yeah, he did. I wasn't. That was he was set up to do, but yeah, he did. Being in the moment, and that moment being real, and things like that. What what is that? You know, which was good. You know what I'm saying? It probably didn't. Probably one of what people said is because it was sort of like a comedic moment, but it was actually a philosophical moment in a sense. You know, he was in the moment, all right, exactly. Because I was like, bruh, like for real, bruh, like, but you know, even guy tries to get Buddy to be like him, but he's like, no, he refuses. You know, politics, but yeah, um, he wants to, you're going to see, open his eyes with having his own glasses, but that doesn't happen. He's like, no, I'm scared, whatever, but greetings, MR Lane, you know what I'm talking about? So, um, Guy helps Millie on, her mission, to steal the Villa Club, but they don't get it, you know what I'm talking about? But you also see, that that Antoine, as the owner or the game developer, he makes or is going to make changes in the sequel, Free City 2. And Keys calls him on. It's like, you promised, the, the 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 people that you wouldn't, do this and do that and whatnot. And he's not doing it. And he says, well, maybe we should just make a new original game instead of a sequel. You know what I'm saying? Which you sort of see, which you really do see in the gaming business. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to uh, games being created, there's a lot of things that game developers will promise, for a certain game and things like that. But then when you buy the game, everything that they promised, is not in the game. I like, so much promise was given out to like Cyberpunk 2077, 2049, 2020. Anyway, so, but then it was supposed to be like, this amazing game. And then it promised so much. And then you got so little. You know what I'm saying? I didn't buy the game, but just watching reviews on them just trashing and trashing and trashing. And it's like they promised us so much. They hyped this up so much. And that happens with a lot of games. You know what I'm talking about? Shoot. Uh, 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 another one, Madden. Like Madden ain't been good since, I don't know, before John Madden actually, transition. But I ain't played Madden in a long time. But yeah, man, you know what I'm talking about? They will receive that stamp today at the bank as a call to be present in the moment, right? Like riches and fame, if you give up your birthright. That's the 48 laws of power. For sure. Already look at Isaac quoting 48 laws and whatnot. So we see that, but we also see Guy and Millie going out on a date, and she already falling in love, But then Keys tells Millie that Guy is like the first living artificial intelligence. He's not real. He's just an NPC, And she's like, wait, my guy? She's saying my man, my guy, yeah. But then she takes him to the multiplayer lounge and basically tells him that you're an NPC, you're not real, And because she does that, Guy gets, was like, man, well, I felt alive doing what I've been doing and being in those moments and things like that. And here you are taking that away from me. But like you say, I'm not real. So then guy goes on a tirade like, this whole world's a lie. This is a lie. That's a lie. But then he gets talked to Buddy, and then he tells him that, all of this is real. But man, F what they say. You know what I'm saying? This moment, what's willing in that? Also, him leveling up by the woman who represented fire. Yeah. And he represented water. Was a reminder that we never have to accept the status that society places us in. We can always level up using will. Yeah, you know, um, you can already tell that he represented water because blue shirt guy. You know what I'm saying? And Molotov cocktail girl. Why I say Molotov cocktail? Thinking of the wrong thing. Molotov girl. Red hair. Fire was everywhere when it came to her. So yeah, and through that will, or through his own will, he was leveling up. He was even awakening himself before, because he had that will. You know what I'm talking about. Would that be like the Osirian story or the Osirian story? Well, if you mean basically, her apartment had fire symbols all over it while she wore red and orange, for sure. If you mean him, well, in a sense, willing himself, um, hmm, hmm. In what terms? Before and make sure I answer it right. But in what terms, like he's at? In what terms would that be the Osirian story? One cool thing was how he and Buddy had a close male-to-male relationship that was healthy and loving without being romantic, not the typical for Hollywood. Yeah, we guys, we can't have no guy friends unless they're a significant other. It's messed up, but that was cool. We don't have movies like that like it used to be, like Outsiders. Oh man, that was friendship. you know, you know, gang, gangy to gangy to a little bit, but hey, you had friends. I was saying same thing about Warriors. So it was about a group of friends, group of male friends, wearing the same colors, fighting to go back to CI, the big Coney. you know. So how she was fire and him being water and helping him level up, putting him back together. You know what? In the when he when he loses his memory and they reboot the system and he loses memory, that kiss basically puts him back together again, in a sense, gives him back his memory and everything, and whatnot. Of course, she didn't have to go through a bunch of quest and have somebody else, help him put him back together. But hey, but yeah, I would say that, and you also see, that through all of this interactions, that players are starting to see the NPCs as different because of Guy. But like I say, Antoine orders a reboot, and because of that, his memory's wiped. And so he forgets everything. So Keith tells Millie that, he's part of an old program or character I based off of that was looking for this woman, the love of his life, or his dream girl, and that dream girl was you, because I based off that character to look that woman to be like you. So, ergo, only you can bring him back, to how he used to be, or things like that. And that's what happens. She gives him the. Here I am about to be. Gives him a kiss of life. Oh, Sade. Anyway, in a sense, But yeah. How? Okay. Chief say, I suspect that reboot will be a legal issue in the coming future. If I say I have created an AI, if I reboot my system, it will be akin to murder. I could see Opan smoking that in the future. For sure. Litigation, whatever you want to call it, it sure can. It sure can, and it will have legislation, to back it up. You gotta have legislation, to back it up and things like that. Yeah, that can totally happen. For sure. But you gotta have more people on board. You gotta have everybody on board, like you said, Chief, and in one of the archive show, Oh wow, AI rights. It can happen, because look, AI will probably have more rights than you. be the new minority. We're here, we're NPC, and then the new letters too. We NPC. The literal non-binary. We are AI, NPC. Let's see. What else? RPC, role playing cat, things like that. Shoot, you got dang on video game characters that got birthdays. Like for real, you got video game characters. Well, more than just video game characters. They got birthdays. When did that ever happen? Maybe I blame when Mickey Mouse had a birthday. That's when it all went down. But yeah, we already beat the minority, right? But I mean the new privileged minority, in a sense. You know what I'm talking about? People are already infusing non-biological things into the bodies. Yeah. But you see that, and you see Guy, rallying the NPCs to go on strike, to stop everything from happening. So look, the NPCs just in a coffee shop playing that, ain't no stopping the stock. Look, they got we in the coffee shop, bumping ain't no stopping. Yeah. But while that's happening, you see, also that Keys is confronting Antoine what's happening on why, you had to steal our stuff and things like that. And he's like, man, nothing matters more than numbers. You know what I'm talking about? And he was like, man, I looked at the numbers. I looked at this, and whereas Keys is a little bit more abstract, because like you didn't think that we might possibly succeed, in that sense, and like, and so it's like, man, I looked at the numbers and it wasn't going to happen, and that's what he went off of. The Trinity, Millie, Keys, and Mouser were gods of this world. Antoine was Satan, um, reference to Antoine Levy. But the God of the NPC didn't understand them or their suffering. Buddhist notion, right? I can see that. I totally can see that. Millie, Keys, and Mouse. That's the Trinity. I didn't do it. I saw Millie, Keys, and Mouse. You know, you could already see it. Um, but Satan steals creational way, basing a fake world from the garden, like initial creation looked prehistoric. Yeah, yeah. The original game had a prehistoric or more natural look to everything. Whereas Free City, was basically a city, a modern city with skyscrapers and things like that, and chaos, and you know, tanks just and airships and things like that. It was chaotic. People getting robbed, the NPCs getting robbed, but even the players are getting robbed, wow, it's just crazy, whereas, the actual game, which was called Life, it was more, or Free Life, was more serene and natural, and had a paradise even look to it, you know what I'm talking about? So yeah, that's for sure. But we also see, guys fighting, his own like clone or clone on steroids, which is called Dude, and whatnot. And we see Antoine, trying to destroy the game, you know, and as he's trying to destroy the game, there's a bridge that Keys creates to get across to go to basically Free Life, the island of Free Life. You know what I'm talking about? The island of Free Life. Trying to get on the island, just like Gilligan. Okay. So, but as he's trying to do that, we see Buddy dying on the bridge. He's like, man, this is the best day of my life. You know what I'm saying? Still, showing, I would say, him living in the moment and being real. You know what I'm talking about? But as, Free City is crumbling and whatnot, and every NPCs look like they about to die, he actually gets to, free land, And so Millie makes a deal with Antoine saying, look, you can keep all of that, just give us our game and whatnot, which he ends up getting arrested, probably lawsuits too, but that too. And as that's happening, as they get back their code, and whatnot, Free Life, is up and running with like Tree said, Keith, I mean not Keith, Keys, Millie, and Mouser, you know what I'm saying? But this was like an updated Tron, but less serious and intense. Man, Tron was this was good. Yeah, it's less serious, less intense, but man, but just the games in Tron, man. I mean, come on, you throwing the dago frisbee, killing people, bro, and then you got the bikes. Oh man, you ride it, then that's fun. I know you liked it for the bike shoes because you like motorcycles. So you like, but yeah, it seemed like more fun. You know what I'm talking about? In a sense, But yeah, it's Tron-esque. It's Tron-esque. Um, except the difference with Tron is that um, he basically is forced to go into the gaming system, whereas it's voluntary. you know, it's just the everyday thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the players actually go in. You know what I'm saying? And they do whatever they want. You know, you don't have the system trying to be, I guess, oppressive in the sense like in Tron, you know what I'm saying? And you need the user or the player to, liberate, the programs in the game, you know what I'm saying? Um, from that system, man, talking about Tron. There are a few, games, game movies like it, man. The biasing Tron is definitely what I had stained on the brain, but the concept of outside was there. Yeah. Also, wasn't this movie also done by? Yep. Hold on. Tron, yes. This one, no. But yes, Tron was done by Disney. Yes, it was. Yeah, Disney. Well, in hindsight, Disney has gave some. Yeah, this one made some good 80s movies. This one, Tron, Flight of the Navigator. Mind you, I wasn't that old when these movies came out, so I just remember them. Memory, Flight of the Navigator, Benji the Honey. Yeah, Benji the Honey. What else? Willow. Yeah, because Willow ain't on. Yeah, Willow's on. At least it should be on Disney. Willow was good. But yeah. So yeah, man. I mean, yeah, they did a few. They did a few ones, but after that, Millie goes back and to basically free life, which is different now. Scenery's changed, a lot more green and natural and whatnot. And basically, her and guy breaks up, but then he's like, hey, the person that wrote all of that, that's the real off. You need to be going after him, which is Keys. You know what I'm talking about? So they fall in love and kiss and whatever. And we see Buddy comes back alive. you know. Buddy goes back alive. And him and Guy, they hug and say, man, what we gonna do now? And Guy's like, man, we gonna do whatever we want, male friendships, positivity, need them, still need it today, um, which was cool, besides the whole man and best friend stuff, But yeah, man. This was actually a Disney movie, but ironically, this was the first movie Disney didn't own the IP for, art imitating reality. Yeah, because used to be on everything, everything. But yeah, that's for sure. That's real cool, But yeah, man. But yeah, I thought also that this movie sort of shown how how sometimes life can get stuck, and then it just takes one instance or the will, to get you unstuck and on the path you're supposed to go. Because that's what I felt like with Guy. Like he was sort of stuck in the loop of being an NPC, but then he had the will to get himself out of, in a sense, to free himself from that. So that's also what I liked about this movie. You know what I'm saying? Also that it was just talking about the gaming industry. You know what I'm talking about? Which was, it's always been interesting to me. You know how sometimes how cutthroat it can be. You don't hear about it until later. You know how cutthroat the game could be, and things like that. Or you know how like Anton was talking about sequels and things like that. It's the same thing, you know, in gaming when you know you have a game, a good game, and then they come out with not sequels but expansions. You know, World of Warcraft was as an example of that. You know, had a you know this phenomenal game, but sometimes the expansions got more and more just man, you know, the quality was lacking in a sense, you know what I'm talking about? And whereas in other games, you know, they have sequels, but then the sequels don't live up to the original or the previous uh, copies, you know what I'm talking about? Um in a sense. Which is interesting because you don't sort of have that with Witcher 3. You know what I'm saying? That's like the you know, I say that one of the greatest games of the decade or whatever, you know, of the century in this spot. But it's the second sequel. You know, no one talks about that about The Witcher 1 or even The Witcher 2 in a sense. You know what I'm talking about? But it also shows in a sense, I thought also watching the movie. I don't know why, but Jurassic Park was life finding a way. You know, when God was just finding a way to, you know, become more sentient. I was like, huh, life finding a way in a sense, you know, or this is a different Matrix. Look, we talk about reboot. It was sort of like reboot in a sense, the actual TV show reboot. You know, Kitty TV show reboot. You know, I come from the net. You know what I'm talking about? And that was based off of, you know, sort of a similar premise in a sense. You know what I'm talking about? You know, that's a look, another one. That's I would say probably even more Tron-esque, more Tron-esque series than Free Guy, you know. You know. So yeah, man. You know, but for sure, you know. But that was look, hear me talk. That was the end of the movie. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, it ended out cool. You know what I'm talking about? But join us next time. Next strong, we are going. Oh man, we are. I'm going to be joined with Master Minulek. You know what I'm saying? And we are going to get we are going to get to some feels. Oh man, we're gonna get into some feels because we are going to watch. We are going to be breaking down Yo Lie in April, which is it's an anime now. Oh man, it's a romance anime though, but you know it's oh bro, it's so sad, but it's good though. It's good, but it's sad. It's sad that it's good, but it's good that it's sad. But it's man, Yo Lie in April's gone. Oh, can't wait for it. You know, it's one of those for real. You know, when I saw it, you know, I was like, hey. Sometimes you gotta put yourself like, hey, yo, son, what's wrong with you? You know, because it really will get you in the feels. You know, but yeah, man, that's I can't wait for that one, man. You know, Yo Lie in April was real, is real good. You know, but it's an anime. You know what I'm talking about, and it's fun. You know, so that's what we're gonna get into. You know, Yo Lie in April. You know, so man, just it's not only that. Look, we even get into a little bit of classical music. You know, being a pianist. You know, which was also good. The music was good. You know, classical music. Um, Sovereignty say, film makes me recall a module from spiritual training. It reminds us that if we exist only within our five senses, then only what is perceived by the five senses be most real to us at whatever. Already. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, we gonna hit. Look, we're gonna be a little bit cultured. Listen to classical music. Get in our feelings. uh, cause to be sentinels. Call for us to be sentinels. This free guy was a superb choice. Good thanks for spending the time. You don't got. It's cool, G. You ain't gotta do all that. Of course, I'm gonna show up. You gotta do all that, man. You cool. You got it. But give thanks because I was like, should I be doing? I don't know. I was a little bit wavering on it. You know what I'm talking about? So give thanks for that. It was like, but yeah. Whatever levels our senses have to, have expanded to. This is exemplified when guy begins to see additional expansions of his reality through different glasses. The woman also functions as the expansion of his reality. Yeah, for sure. So join us also tomorrow for Shema Anu. We still delving it. Delving into economics. You know what I'm talking about? And we're gonna get into that as well. But like I said, join us next round for your lie in April. Because it's gonna be April. So only fitting, right? So your lie in April. So give thanks, enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see y'all next round. Peace.